The Scots capital was voted Europe's leading destination in 2012, and Edinburgh Castle is one of the reasons. A hilltop fort for over 1,500 years, it dominates the city as much as it's dominated the nation's history.
Perched high above the city of Edinburgh lies its most famous landmark, and welcoming me on the left chair is Sir William Wallace from the movie Braveheart and Robert the Bruce. And as they said in the movie, you may take our lives, but you will never take our freedom.
Robert was King of the Scots 700 years ago and led his people in the Wars of Independence against England. Since then, the castle has sheltered the famed Mary Queen of Scots, who was such a threat to England's Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen we got to know in the Kate Blanchett movies. As happens with castles, it's been fought over from day one.
This right here is Scotland's biggest cannon. She's flattened castle walls and terrified Scotland's enemies. But that was until 500 years ago, when her barrel burst. Now she's just the castle's grand old lady.
From Edinburgh's celebrated hilltop history to life under the streets during the 17th century, hidden below Mary King's Close is one of the many underground streets that were built over during the modernisation of the city. One-time resident poet Robert Ferguson, who died under mysterious circumstances, is your guide. The role is played by actor Gavin Todd.
Well, you came right out of the darkness there.
Uh-oh, sorry about that. Might have been a little scary. Who are you, traveller?
I'm good, how are you?
Well, I'm very well. I've just come from downstairs, from the streets where I used to live, or at least visit. They're underneath the city chambers here, underneath the city. Would you like to go travelling?
Down there?
Well, I'll keep you safe. Maybe.
We were stepping down 4 centuries in time to meet widowed mother of 4 and resourceful businesswoman Mary King, who traded in fabrics and sewed for a living.
At this point, we're about 10 feet underneath where the city would be today if you were walking around up there. But this here is Mary King, the woman who the close itself is named after.
Although highly unusual for a close to be named after a woman, this indicated Mary's standing at the time.
So, this is Mary King's Close itself. It's not quite as busy as it was in its heyday in about the 1630s, when 700 people lived on this street and 10,000 people came through it every day. And you can almost touch both sides of the walls.
You can, eh? It's crazy, look at that. Wow.
And of course, there wouldn't have been a roof above your head. You'd have been able to see the sky. But even though you could, the buildings here could be 11 floors tall. And they're so close together that the sunlight struggled to get down here, even when it was open. So it was already like living underground.
Life here was shattered when the plague struck. Disease spread easily, and though penicillin was later discovered by Scotsman Alexander Fleming, it came too late for many.
This is the home of a family from 1645, the height of the plague in Scotland.
And this right here, which looks like it's come straight out of a modern-day horror movie, was actually the doctor in those days.
Yep, this is Dr. George Ray. The reason he's wearing that mask is, firstly, because he thinks it looks like a raven, which is a bird he thought would ward off evil spirits. The second reason is because he thought that the plague was spread by foul smells in the air. He called them miasmas, so he filled that mask with sweet-smelling herbs and plants. He's got the herbs in there so that the bad smells didn't get into his breath.
From this time, the close is said to be haunted. One story is of a little girl called Annie looking for her lost doll.
This here is a 17th century house from the 1640s. You can tell the family who lived here were fairly rich because their house has more than one room. This is Annie's bedroom. It gets its name from when a Japanese psychic reported she saw a girl standing in that corner called Annie, who was left down here when she caught the plague. To cheer her up, the Japanese psychic bought her a new doll and gave it to her. Just to make sure you leave on good terms, in case you believe in that sort of thing, you should probably leave an offering.
I don't have an offering.
Good thing I have you covered.
Thank goodness. Here we go, Annie, a pink unicorn for you. Please do not tug on my shirt when I leave the room.
This is better than a Westlife CD, that unicorn.
One element of Edinburgh culture still remained a mystery for Jonathan. It's food. Thinking a bit of French influence couldn't hurt, we took in The Pompadour by Galvin, named after French King Louis XV's mistress, Madame de Pompadour.
When it comes to traditional Scottish food, you think cullen and skink, neeps and tatties, which are potatoes, and haggis, which has my attention. And that's why we're here at one of the oldest restaurants in Scotland.
Run by the double Michelin star-rated Galvin brothers, Craig Sandel is the executive chef.
Hi John, how you doing?
How you doing?
Welcome to the Pompadour by Galvin.
Haggis.
Yeah, it's our national dish. Have you tried it before?
No, mainly because of what people have told me is inside it.
Yeah, well inside there you've got all the lamb offal, the kidneys, the liver, the heart, all minced down and cooked with the oatmeal and beef dripping there, and this is wrapped in the lovely sheep's intestine.
Wrapped in a lovely sheep's intestine. Lovely, sounds delicious.
It is.
You're not doing a very good job convincing me that I want to eat this, so what are we going to have with it?
We're going to have the old traditional neeps and tatties.
Okay, well my hands are washed, what can I do to help?
Yeah, well you can smash these up, bash them up in the traditional way.
What's the traditional way?
But it's not too smooth, just push through it, yeah. So it's okay to have little lumps in there, but that's the way we like it.
The story of haggis dates back to ancient Scottish times.
Yeah, it dates back to when the peasants, the farmers, when they this was all the bits that no one wanted, all the offal and things. So they created a free meal. You know, like true Scots, we don't throw anything in the bin. We keep it and we look after it and make it into something.
Okay.
Okay, let's dish it up. Okay, we take some of the neeps.
Neeps.
Just bash them in there.
Some tatties.
Some tatties. Again, just bob that in.
Yeah.
And if I can get you to cut that for me.
Okay, is there a technique to cutting it?
Yeah, in Scotland what we do, we get the knife, we stab it in, we push it, we smell, and in Scotland we call it get the ricky of the haggis.
The Ricky.
The ricky.
Cool. There we go. And cut. So soft.
Yeah.
Look at the way those intestines are opening up there.
Push it, really push it. Push it and you get the smell.
Oh, pretty good actually.
Yeah. Now we get the spoon. In we go. Presentation isn't key.
Yeah, A for presentation. There we go. That's really good.
That was our taste of Edinburgh. Whether you love the history, food, or bagpipes, we'll leave the rest for you to explore.